Good evening, everyone. We're going to give you updates on now Tropical Storm Lee. I'm Martin Folse, and we're going to, through the night, bring you all the information that we can and that we have at this time. We are dealing with a tropical storm which could possibly form into a hurricane before it makes landfall. Now, certainly, as you can see, we'll bring up these maps as we can, full screen for you, and bring you through them. This is the forecast eye path, and I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. I'm going to go to the old faithful stick and show you how this thing should play out and why we are going to be on the rainy side of this tropical storm. But as you can tell right now, at 1 p.m. as of Friday, and we are waiting any moment for another advisory. As soon as that comes across, I'm going to be giving you that information in a few short minutes. As of 1 p.m. Friday, there you see it. As of 7 p.m. Friday, it's a slow mover. Then you see 7 p.m. Saturday, it only moves about halfway up the channel. As of 7 p.m. on Sunday, this is on Sunday, it is making landfall west of Terrebonne Parish, west of the Morgan City area. And Jason, just to be exact, what's the exact city they're naming on that so that I can let the public know? All right, right around Marsh Island is what we're guesstimating. So then you could tell 7 p.m. Monday, it's still trying to move through. And as we're talking now, I can hear one of those feeder bands coming over Houma, and we're going to bring you some shots from outside as this newscast goes on, and from other areas also. So we'll have a camera set up outside the HTV studios. Let's move the maps if we can to give everybody a good idea. We want to go to the other cameras, Jay, when we do that. So we're gonna show you different shots. There's the floodgate, and you can tell the waters have come up since I've been on this morning. It's hard to tell because we cannot see the numbers too well on that, but we can certainly, we're going to have officials who will let us know how much higher the water is coming in. But the floodgates are doing their job. It's a rain event. Remember, it's not going to be the biggest tidal surge, but it's certainly going to be a big rain event. All right, here's the latest 4 o'clock position. 27.5 north, 91.5 west. The winds at 45 miles per hour, that's why it's a tropical storm. The gust at 60 miles per hour. The movement is north at 2 miles per hour. The pressure at 29.62 inches, or 1,003 millibars. All right, once again, the forecast eye path. This is the new eye path, which they've just given us. It hasn't changed much, as you could tell. It's pretty much the same thing that we just showed you prior to the change. So around Marsh Island is where landfall, the eye, or disorganized center of circulation, wherever it happens, that's where it's going to seem to go across. All right, the storm surge for Lee. There you see it, and basically covers all of the eastern half of the state of Louisiana and all of Mississippi, and moves a little bit into the central quadrant of Louisiana, and they've left the western quadrant pretty much off of that because of most of the activity is on the eastern side of this storm. And there you can see it, anywhere from a 1 to 3 foot storm surge. So not a massive storm surge, but still a storm surge. Projected rainfall that we will see in this area is above 8 inches. All right, when we say above 8 inches, we don't know if it's going to be 8 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches. Nobody knows that. Because as we're speaking now, I don't know if the mics are picking it up, but you could hear the rainfall on the roof here at HTV. One of those feeder bands just moving across. So If you get in the training effect with this thing, you're going to get more rain than your neighbor, who might be a few miles away, who's not in the training effect. So that's typical of these storms. Right now, Lafourche is under a tornado watch, tornado warning. I'm going to check that. I think it's a tornado watch at this point. So we'll definitely keep you up to date on that. Let's move the maps if we can. All right. Here's this. It's a tornado warning for Lafourche Parish. The center of circulation is on the bottom end of the stick. The boundary line between Terrebonne and Lafourche is on the top end of the stick. Now, you may say, well, why'd you draw it to Terrebonne and Lafourche? The eye path is going to be to the left of that. That is true. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to position the real stick. I'm going to give me a little room here. I'm going to come in. This is around the projected landfall of it. And the reason I'm trying to show you this is because you can tell to the right side of where I've drawn the southern part into Terrebonne and Lafourche, all the reds are still on the right side. So as this eye goes straight up, the wooden stick is the real path. So all the reds, all the scarlets are going to be to the right of the wooden stick. Therefore, Terrebonne and Lafourche and St. Mary are going to have a very, very rainy weekend. So there you can see what we have. Once again, the white animated stick is around where the circulation is to the center of Terrebonne and Lafourche, the boundary line. And I only put that there to show you where all of the major rain event is now. It's right on that path. So if that path, let's show you this in another, if this path, look, go back to the close-up if you can, Jay. If this would continue to move up, this circulation would move up, like right here, then all of this rain would move up here. However, as I showed you, the center of circulation is going to be coming up this way. Therefore, all of this rain is coming straight at us. So there you have it as far as the stick is concerned, and that just gives you a basic idea of where we are quadrant wise compared to all of this rain. And it's going to be a lot. I mean, you're just going to have to batten the hatches down. And but remember, they're projecting 8 inches of rain plus. We had 7 point something not long ago in Terrebonne Parish. Lafourche had a gully washer not long ago. So these pumps in both of these parishes are designed to handle 5 inches of rain an hour. If we get into that training effect and that water comes quickly and the skies just fall, then it becomes a problem. But if we get 2 or 3 inches here, 2 or 3 inches there, and we give those pumps enough time, we have a fighting chance and everybody comes out of this okay. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on it. And once again, I'm not an alarmist when it comes to these things. I will give you play-by-play as we go through it. And the one rule of thumb to remember, if we have problems, I'll be on the air. If everything's going fine, I'm going to give the crew a rest. But we're going to be on in any circumstance to give you new information. So make sure you listen and make sure you keep viewing the channel, because we're going to be on at a moment's notice if anything comes up. Jason, can we take a look at the sky cameras we have everywhere? There you see Grand Isle. And Grand Isle, little rain coming in front of the camera, but not much. Look at the surf. Doesn't look as bad as it did earlier today. Of course, as the day goes on, we're not going to be able to see this shot. It's going to be dark. You'll just see some lights. But it doesn't look as bad. Once again, you may say, why? It looked a lot worse 2 hours ago. That's because you had a big feeder band coming across Grand Isle, and it was roughing everything up a little bit, but then they're in between them as we speak. Let's take another look, Jay, if we can. There's the floodgate in Lafourche, and let's move through them. Do we have a Cocodrie? All right, he's going to get up Cocodrie in a second. I also have a cameraman, Chris Matthews, that is on his way to Cocodrie to show some of the footage, just to give you an idea of what actually it's like over there. But there you go. You remember in a lot of storm events that we covered, all this parking lot was underwater. It's not underwater right now. So that gives you a good bird's eye view of what is taking place at the end of the road in Cocodrie. And we're gonna keep going to these cameras as long as nature provides us a chance to, and as long as daylight allows us to see this. And I think the only other camera we have would be Galliano, and there's a look at Galliano. A little more rain falling in that area, so depending on where you are depends on the amount of rainfall that we'll be able to see. So we'll keep bringing you that. The phone line's 879-1231, 879-1231. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want you to call up, give us your thoughts, and then we're going to roll in some footage from local store as Chris Matthews went out to find out if people were worried about this storm or not. We'll be right back.